Sometimes the hardest truth to accept is this. You're not stuck because life is unfair. You're stuck because you lost focus. You drifted, you got comfortable, you let distractions take control, and now you're wondering why you feel off, why nothing is clicking, why you're not where you said you'd be. And that realization, it stings, because deep down, you know it's true. You didn't lose your ability. You didn't lose your potential. You lost your direction. And when you lose direction, everything feels heavy. Every step feels uncertain. Every decision feels unclear. You start second-guessing yourself. You start slowing down. You start settling. But here's the thing. You're not broken. You just need to reset. A reset is not failure. A reset is power. It's the moment you stop everything and take control again. It's where you step back, look at your life honestly, and say, this isn't it. This is not who I'm meant to be. And then you make a move. Because staying stuck is a choice. Drifting is a choice. And if you chose it once, you can choose differently now. But it starts with awareness. Brutal honesty. No excuses. No sugarcoating. You look at your habits. You look at your discipline. You look at your effort. And you call it out. You stop lying to yourself. Because nothing changes until you face the truth. And the truth is simple. You've been off track, off focus, off your standard. But that doesn't define you. That doesn't end your story. It's just a moment. And moments can change right now. So you reset. You clear the noise. You cut the distractions. You remove the habits that are dragging you down. You strip it back to the essentials. Discipline, focus, execution. Because you don't need more information. You need more action. You don't need a perfect plan. You need consistency. Small steps, repeated daily. That's how you rebuild. That's how you restart. Because a restart isn't about going back. It's about moving forward with clarity, with intention, with a new standard. And that standard, it has to be higher. No more half effort. No more good enough. No more waiting for the right time. You set the tone. You set the pace. You decide who you're becoming. And once you make that decision, everything changes. Your mornings change. Your habits change. Your mindset changes. Because now you're not drifting. Now you're driving. Now you're in control again. And that's where the power is. Not in perfection. In direction. So if you've been lost, if you've been off track, if you've been questioning everything, good. Because this is your moment. Your reset. Your restart. Your chance to refocus and come back stronger than ever. Now comes the part most people avoid. The uncomfortable part. The part where you stop talking about change and you start living it. Because resetting sounds good. Restarting feels exciting. But refocusing? That's where discipline takes over. That's where you cut the distractions that you've been holding onto. The habits that feel good but lead nowhere. The routines that keep you busy but not productive. The people, the noise, the endless scrolling, all of it. You don't negotiate with it anymore. You eliminate it. Because you understand now, every distraction is stealing your future. Every wasted hour is a step away from who you could become. And that truth, it hits hard, but it's necessary. Because refocus requires sacrifice. You don't get to keep your old life and build a new one at the same time. You have to choose. And once you choose, you commit. Fully. No halfway. No, I'll try. No more starting and stopping. This time, you lock in. Because the version of you that keeps resetting without changing anything, that version is stuck in a loop. But you break the loop. You create a new standard. And that standard is simple. You do what needs to be done. Every day. No matter how you feel. Because feelings are temporary. But discipline compounds. Discipline builds momentum. Discipline creates results. So even when it's boring, you show up. Even when it's repetitive, you stay consistent. Even when progress feels slow, you keep going. Because now you understand something powerful. Consistency beats intensity. Anyone can go hard for a day. Anyone can be motivated for a week. But very few can stay disciplined for months, for years, for as long as it takes. That's what separates you now. That's what makes this reset different. Because you're not chasing a quick win. You're building something real, something sustainable, something that lasts. And that takes time. That takes patience. That takes a level of focus that most people can't maintain. But you can, because now you've seen what happens when you lose it. You've felt the frustration, the confusion, the lack of progress. You've been there, and you're not going back. So you stay locked in. You protect your time. You protect your energy. You protect your mindset. Like it's everything. Because it is. This is your foundation. And without it, nothing stands. So you rebuild it. Stronger, cleaner, more focused than ever before. And slowly, things start to change. Your mind gets clearer. Your actions get sharper. Your confidence starts to come back. Not because you're talking about it, because you're doing the work. And that's where real confidence comes from. Action, proof, results. You don't need to convince yourself anymore, because you're living it every single day. And now you start to feel it, that shift, that quiet confidence building inside you. Not loud, not arrogant, just solid, unshakable. Because now you're aligned. Your thoughts match your actions. Your actions match your goals. And your goals, they finally feel real again. Not like a dream, not like a wish, but something you're actively building, day by day, brick by brick. And that changes everything. Because when you're aligned, you move differently. You think differently. You operate with purpose. No more wasted motion. No more random decisions. Everything has intent. Everything has direction. And that's powerful. Because now, you're not reacting to life. You're controlling it. You're setting the pace. You're deciding what matters and what doesn't. And that level of clarity? It's rare. Most people never reach it. They stay distracted. They stay scattered. They stay stuck in cycles of starting and stopping. But you broke that. You reset. You restarted. You refocused. And now you're building momentum. Real momentum. The kind that doesn't fade. The kind that compounds. Because you're not relying on motivation anymore. You're relying on systems, habits, standards. Things that don't disappear when you're tired. Things that don't change when life gets hard. And that's the difference. That's what makes this version of you stronger. Because now, you're consistent. Not perfect, consistent. And consistency wins. Every time. Over talent. Over luck. Over everything. Because when you show up daily, when you put in the work, when you stay locked in, you become inevitable. That's what you're building. Inevitable progress. Inevitable growth. Inevitable success. And once you reach that point, there's no stopping you. Because even if you fall, you reset. Even if you slow down, you refocus. Even if things get messy, you restart. That's your system now. That's your mindset. That's your identity. You don't stay down. You don't stay lost. You don't stay off track. You adjust. You realign. You move forward. Again and again and again. That's power. That's control. That's how you win long term. So keep going. Stay sharp. Stay disciplined. Stay focused. Because this is just the beginning. You're not just fixing your life. You're rebuilding it. Stronger, smarter, more intentional than ever before. And one day, you'll look back at this moment, this reset, this decision to restart and refocus. And you'll realize this is where everything changed. Now this is the moment where it all locks in. Not as a phase, not as a temporary burst of motivation, but as a lifestyle, as a standard, as who you are. Because resetting once is easy. Restarting once feels powerful, but living focused every single day, that's where the real transformation happens. And that's where you are now. You're no longer the person who drifts. You're no longer the person who waits. You're no longer the person who loses control and hopes things will fix themselves. That version of you is gone, because now you understand the formula. When you fall, you reset. When you lose direction, you refocus. When you slow down, you restart. No excuses, no delay, no emotional drama. Just action. Immediate, intentional, relentless action. That's your edge now. That's what separates you. Because life will still happen. There will still be setbacks. There will still be moments where things don't go your way. But now, those moments don't stop you. They trigger you. They remind you of who you are. They activate that system you've built. Reset, restart, refocus, again and again and again, until progress becomes automatic. Until discipline becomes second nature. Until success is no longer a question, but an outcome. That's where you're headed. Not because it's easy, but because you've chosen it. You've committed to it. You've become it. And that changes everything. Because now, you're not chasing results anymore. You're creating them through your habits, through your discipline, through your refusal to fall back into old patterns. And that's what makes this different. That's what makes this permanent. Because it's not based on emotion. It's built on identity. You are someone who adjusts. You are someone who adapts. You are someone who keeps moving forward, no matter what. And once that identity is real, nothing can shake it. Not failure, not distraction, not time, nothing. So now, there's only one thing left. Live it. Every day, every decision, every action, no matter how small. Because this is your life now. Focused, disciplined, controlled. And when the world tries to pull you off track, when distractions show up, when old habits try to creep back in, you already know what to do. You don't hesitate. You don't overthink. You execute. Reset, restart, refocus. That's your weapon. That's your system. That's your power. And as long as you keep using it, you will never stay down. You will never stay lost. You will never stay average. Because you've built something stronger than all of that. You've built a mindset that adapts, evolves, and overcomes. So stand tall, stay locked in, and keep moving forward. Because the person you're becoming is unstoppable.